What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, I'm Melissa. So we are already at March, and I will be ranking the new releases that came out in March from 10 to 1. I saw 10 movies, and forewarning right now, in my opinion, March was not the best month for new releases. So for this list, you should really think of it as what she found from the most boring to the least boring, because I'm telling you, I didn't love any of these movies that I watched. There are certainly some that I enjoyed more than others, and there are certainly some that I would definitely choose to rewatch more than others. But nothing, I'm telling you right now, nothing on this list that I have here is above a 3.5, which isn't terrible. A 3.5 to me is still fresh. I mean, it's still worthwhile. It's still good, but I still have my issues with it. I have full reviews for all of these movies except for Control Freak. So I won't be doing a deep dive, insightful conversations about all of them, because we will be here for 24,000 hours. But if you would like to know more of my thoughts for all of these movies, they all have videos right here on my channel except for Control Freak. So there you go. But we have 10 to get through, so let's get started. Starting out at number 10 with Control Freak. This is a new Hulu horror movie that I'm not sure a lot of people watch, but it stars Kelly Marie Tran. And I thought this was pretty boring. I'm so sorry. I think you're going to hear that word a lot in this video. I would try not to overuse it. But this is another horror movie that came out this year that is exploring generational trauma. It just feels so overdone by now. And this one, I think, actually tries to do too much. There's just way too many traumas that we're trying to follow. I think if it was a bit more focused and focusing on just one type of trauma, it would have been better. And Kelly Marie Tran has a few good moments here, but not worth your time. Number 9, Locked, with the great Anthony Hopkins and Bill Skarsgård. You have two great actors, and it is taking place entirely in a car. It is under 90 minutes. But it was so boring. This almost put me to sleep. If you need some help getting to sleep when this comes on streaming, put this movie on. It's a no bueno. Number 8, Mickey 17. I know it's this low on the list, but I think it's this low because I was so disappointed. You know, this is Bong Joon-ho's movie after his major Oscar win of Parasite 5 years ago. Can you believe that was 5 years ago? And I love that movie, just like the rest of the world loves that movie. And I love the actors in it. And I do think it still has some good performances, especially by Robert Pattinson. But there's some good performances, some good visuals. But a lot of this I found very boring. And I won't even talk about the non-subtle class difference in here, because he's so not trying to be subtle. So I won't even criticize it because of that. But man, I was very disappointed in this. Next up, we have Death of a Unicorn. I went in to go see this not having expectations really, because I had seen the lukewarm reviews of this movie. But, you know, as the film lover that I am, I still had hope in the back of my mind, I guess. And I really did not like this movie. But you have such like a fun premise. This is the killer unicorn horror comedy. And it's just so bland. I found the performances, except for Will Poulter, who I think is the only actor in that cast who understood the assignment. It is a satire for Big Pharma. It is an Eat the Rich movie, which is all well and good, but it just wasn't really executed well. My theater, I feel like, also was kind of on my side. Barely anybody laughed. I did not laugh during this movie. I enjoyed some of the heartfelt moments of the third act, but even Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, for the most part, did not even save this for me. Next up at number 6, we have Snow White. This movie has been through so many ups and downs in the past 2 years. And in my opinion, people are just out there wanting to hate something. By no means, this movie is not a good movie. I do not think it is a terrible movie. There's way worse that have been made throughout the history of film. But I guess the little Disney kid inside of me can appreciate some things about it. I mean, Rachel Zegler has a voice of an angel. She's good in that aspect. And I'm on an island where I think Gal Gadot is the only one that's kind of having fun. She's playing this cartoonish interpretation of this character. And she's in a different movie because it doesn't really fit the tone that the director was going for, but that's the director's fault for not telling her to, hey, this is not the movie we're making. So coming in at number 5 is an A24 movie called Opus. I don't think anybody watched this movie, but I was curious enough to go and check it out. This movie, from what I can remember, I was engaged through some of it, but it is A24. It is a cult movie, so there are certainly weird things that are happening, and I just don't love it when we're just doing weird things for weirdness sake. I gave the movie a chance by not walking out and saying to hell with it, because I was engaged enough to continue. I wanted to know what is going on. Why did this pop star invite all these people out to his estate? And it just wasn't able to keep up a good pace for me, though. There's moments where I was engaged, moments where I was just like, you're putting me to sleep. I did like the ending. I've had some time now to kind of like really think about it, and I had appreciated the ending, but the journey to there, I feel like still doesn't really make up for the fact that this could have been a lot better. Coming in at number 4, The Woman in the Yard. Oh my goodness. I've been seeing the comments on social media amongst the horror community about this movie. Some people are hating this movie so much. Some people are really appreciating this. And I think for me, I fall kind of in the middle of that. If you check out my video review for this, I gave this a 3 out of 5 because I really appreciated the cinematography of this. I think it's really well shot. I love how we play around with the shadows. And Danielle Deadwilder, she has been around for a minute, but I think this is actually the first time that I've seen her in something. I think she did such an excellent job. For some people, she's playing somebody rather unlikable, but you guys, I'm watching the movie. She is playing this single mom who is injured from this car accident, and she lost her husband, and you see her in a very depressive state. So there are some things that she does in here that are not likable, but I'm coming from a place where I can kind of, it's not excusable, but I can kind of understand because she's dealing with not only grief, but she's also dealing with guilt. And again, she is very depressed. I really hope that the filmmaker eventually tells us how he interprets the ending, because that has been so much of the talk on social media is the ending. People have certain interpretations of, oh my God, I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen it yet. But I think you could wait till you can stream it at home. I think when this hits streaming, the ending of this will be debated all over again. But I am fascinated. And I have to tell you, right when I finished watching this movie, I thought the ending was like pretty straightforward. Like, this is what I know happened. This is what I think I saw, or this is what I know what I saw. But then a day passes, and then I saw other reviews saying, no, like she actually did this, the character. And I was like, wait, what? That is not what I got from that movie. But I'm seeing a lot of people saying, yes, no, yes, she did, no, she didn't. And wow. And I have to say, after walking out in the theater, I would have never predicted that that was going to be a whole debate. So kudos to Blumhouse for that, at least. Coming in at number 3, we have Black Bag. This movie was very much loved on social media. When it came out, I saw a lot of people praising it, so I was excited to check it out. And I'm always down for a fun spy espionage film, but I didn't love it as much as other people did. It just didn't really hook me that way. I was interested enough to kind of lean in and really trying to figure out who's the mole and who can't you trust. I mean, you can't trust anybody in this movie, but maybe it's just me. And there's things in the movie that I couldn't really understand, because there's a whole plot in here that is happening with this program called Severus, and somebody in the agency is trying to sell it or buy, and it's like, I'm not sure who is saying what to whom to get this and that. So because of that, I know that I'm definitely going to rewatch Black Bad when it comes out on streaming, because then I will be able to select closed captions so that I can have more context, and then it will help me to kind of like follow this puzzle. But this movie is really beautiful to look at. It has a very like sleek look. It's very glowy, and you have wonderful performers in here. And yeah, check it out when it comes out on streaming. Coming in at number 2 is a little movie called Novocaine, another movie that I'm not sure a lot of people saw. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 because I had a lot of fun with this. The beginning of this movie really hooked me with the rom-com portion of it. And I just loved seeing Jack Quaid's interview talking about how he had rehearsed and put a lot of effort into the rom-com aspect, the same level as some of the more action-driven scenes in this movie. And I think it really shows. He and Amber Midthunder have such wonderful, cute chemistry. I love their connection, and I was kind of obsessed with them. And I think the movie needed that so that you can kind of be behind his character as to why he would go to such lengths to go and rescue somebody that he just met. But, you know, the boy is in love. He's a lover boy, and I was eating it up. I thought it was completely ridiculous in a fun way, and the movie knows that. And you just have to go in suspending all your disbelief, because this is actually a real condition, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously, it's super heightened in this movie, and it was a good time. We're finally at number 1, The Assessment, starring Elizabeth Olsen and Alicia Vikander, a movie that I know nobody watched. But I am hoping and praying that when it comes out on streaming, people give it a shot, because I thought it was good. I thought it was thought-provoking. I love Elizabeth Olsen. She, to me, is kind of like the shining star of this movie. There's just something about how she acts and how she moves on screen that makes it feel authentic and real and just organic. And I love her. I think someday she will be winning an Oscar. I think she is that great. But this movie has a lot to say, a lot of different things to say about parenthood and society and relationships and what's real, what's not real, what lengths you are willing to go to get to something that you truly desire, whether that's parenthood or whatever it is. And it's also about control. It's also about hope. It's about lies. There's just a lot going on here. I remember I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I remember enjoying mostly the first 2 acts, and then the third act, there's just kind of like some issues that are not great for me. It's just kind of like wobbly, the pace, but it's a movie that I will definitely rewatch, and it comes in at number 1 in my March movies. I can't believe how fast I got through that. So I think because March was a month that was so not giving, that is the reason why I don't have much to say. Like, I have my list right here. Most of these movies I just found kind of bland and boring. That's probably why I was able to get through this pretty fast. I'm surprised. But oh my God, April is coming up next, and I am so excited to watch Sinners. I really hope I like it. I really hope I'm not disappointed. I am crossing my toes, my fingers. I've already reserved my seat through my A-list. I'm so excited for that movie. I hope it's so good. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. We'll see if this portion of the video ages like cheese or ages like fine wine. Thank you guys so much for checking out my video. If you are enjoying my content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button, and also leave me a comment, because that really helps me out with the algorithm of YouTube. And if you don't know what to comment, because I know how that feels sometimes, go ahead and leave me a popcorn emoji. Get it? Movies, popcorn. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.